I'm on an old railway line on the Limerick-Kerry border, but it's not a train I'm waiting on this morning, but my next guest, who is a sportsman turned musician, and we're going to go all the way from Abbeyfeale to Rathkeale. That's over 40 kilometres, so I'm going to give the legs a break. We're going to do this one on the bikes. My name is Doireann Ní Ghlacáin, and this is Tracks and Trails. Limerick is situated mid-southwest of Ireland amid lush farmland countryside with a city that is steeped in history, making Limerick the perfect location for two different types of walk. I'm cycling the new Limerick Greenway from Abbeyfeale to Rathkeale. It's a varied route that takes me through scenic countryside and some fascinating history. After that, I'm doing a walk packed full of stories, a city walk through the heart of Limerick City. Today, I'm meeting one of Limerick's Renaissance men. Barry Murphy is a prominent player in Limerick's music and sporting scene. Having played rugby for Munster and Ireland, he has now turned his talents towards music and is the singer in the band Hermitage Green. Hello, Barry. Great to see you.
Doing? What's the crack?
Good. I'm delighted to be in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, welcome to Limerick.
I know, it's brilliant. We got a good dry day for it anyway.
We do, absolutely.
And I have a big treat here now. I have a lovely helmet picked out here for this cycle.
Oh, great.
I know,
Can't
very
wait.
rock and roll
rock
today.
and roll, brilliant.
Today's route is a greenway and it's 40 kilometres long. Now the good news is that we're cycling it. Our route goes from Abbeyfeale to Rathkeale, and the greenway is an old railway line that runs through scenic countryside and is peppered with stories and history all along the way. Barry, you had a very successful rugby career.
I was in a very successful team, I would say. Lucky enough to come into a Munster team that were, had a full of Irish internationals and so much experience and so many characters. Be involved in a team that won 2 Heineken Cups and a couple of Celtic Leagues as well. Unbelievable journey at a time when I think, the province, just the whole province got behind, the whole of Ireland got behind them and us, and then it became almost like a worldwide thing where people were watching Munster and inspired by the story and what we achieved.
These trees look very impressive, don't they?
Yeah, they're so beautiful. And what's cool about these trails now is that you can stop along these spots and observe the trees, and you might be wondering what species they are. And they've actually installed these digital information hubs.
Oh wow!
That will literally tell you everything you need to know.
You're gone very high tech in Limerick.
The understory is open and species poor, which is common in beech woodlands. The woodland also contains many mature oak trees, located mostly in the southwestern area. There's also a section of ash woodland closer to the river at the southwestern end. At this end, under the oaks, there are earth banks with a variety of fern species, including hard fern.
Tell me about the songwriting process.
With the band, the songwriting, like for this, our latest album, very varied. I might sit down and think of a concept and write. I think I've always been quite emotional. Even as a kid, I loved music, I always loved to sing, I always loved expressing myself. Would never have done it in front of people, but I was always there. It was always in my room, trying to tap into that. So, and then as a sports person, that's what I'm doing as well. You're expressing yourself.
Are you?
Yeah, totally. Like rugby is all about, for me it was not, before you know anything about being a professional sports person or anything, it's all about trying to express yourself and do things with your body or get those emotions out of you that are all very similar to what you feel in music, right?
One of the interesting things about Ireland is its hidden history. While a lot of our focus goes to the major events in history, Ireland's full story is peppered with smaller but fascinating historic facts that often don't get highlighted, and they can be found in unexpected places, Discovering these can be fun things to find.
So where are we now, Barry?
We're in a place called Temple Glantyne, and I just want to pull in here because there's a really interesting story that I'd like to show you. This plaque tells a story of a man called Max McAuliffe, who in the 1860s, he left Temple Glantyne and went to India. And he was a scholar, but ended up translating many of the religious and cultural books into English. And I just think it's absolutely fascinating that in 1860, a man from such a rural part of Ireland could travel to the other side of the world and do something as special as that, which is just so typical of Irish people, getting themselves into every corner of the globe.
That is a mad story, isn't it?
Isn't it? It's
well,
incredible.
If he could make it through the famine and get all the way to India, we'll surely make it to Barna.
for
What
lunch.
do you think?
Okay, let's do it.
You're full of information.
I'm telling you. As you can see, we've got loads of these station houses dotted all the way along the trail, and they've even put these little sculptures here with a mural on them to show you what exactly station houses would have looked like back in the day. And even looking directly ahead, this will show you what it really was like. It's look exactly like a train line. So you can imagine the train coming right down here towards us.
Yeah.
So we head on down that way.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to Weatherford as well, huh?
Oh, we did.
Yeah,
we could do being on a train now, couldn't we?
Ah, I know, but you know what? This is more crack, isn't it?
Exactly. Faster as well, I'd say.
Yeah, we'll have the lunch well earned.
Now, Doireann, we're approaching a pretty cool tunnel here that I can't wait for you to see. But before that, if you just look at the landscape either side of us, what's incredible about this is back in the day, without the use of modern technology, they had to get pretty innovative on how they would create these two kind of sides that we have here. They would use dynamite to blast out all the rock. And then, even more incredible, as we approach this tunnel here, you're going to see that to create the tunnel, they actually had to use chisel and hand to just knock away into all the rock to get their way through to the other side.
I didn't realise he had all this going for you in Limerick.
No.
I'll have to come back more
Got it all,
often.
got it all. Brilliant. Isn't that incredible? Imagine having to chisel that out by hand, that whole distance that we went through. Imagine how long that would have taken. It just blows my mind that those guys would have actually dedicated themselves to doing that, and then still all of this blasted out by dynamite.
Unreal.
In contrast to the countryside stations and railway tunnels, this part of Ireland also has some larger buildings left intact. In Newcastle West, Desmond Castle stands in the middle of the town. Dating back to the 13th century, it was built by Thomas Fitzgerald. The courtyards and banquet hall areas have been well preserved over the years.
It's a castle that goes back hundreds and hundreds of years. Wow.
Oh my God, this is unbelievable, magnificent.
Yeah. So this would have been the banqueting hall, Desmond Castle. You can imagine a roaring fire there in the 15th century.
So what was the story behind this castle here?
So this is a typical Norman castle, would be the home of the Fitzgeralds of Desmond. Desmond, as you will know, in Irish is Jashmuan, which means South Munster. And here's a little nugget for you. So the Munster crest, the three crowns, the three crowns are Thomond, Ormond and Desmond, north, south and west Munster. And I love that.
What about putting on the Irish jersey? How did that feel?
It was very special. Both, Munster and Ireland putting on that jersey for the first time. It's a bit probably overwhelming when you're young. There's so much comes with it that it's hard to really take it all in. I think your family especially it's just such a monumental moment for them, I think. But for you personally, it's a bit overwhelming. As it goes on, the more and more you wear it, the more and more you grow into, feeling like you belong in it and feeling like you're representing all that's come before you and that sense of history. We were always very good at tapping into that as a team.
Well, Gemma, I need to go up and soak some more of this energy up now. Will we hit the road and head for Rathkeale?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
This part of Limerick is packed full of this kind of history. Just a few kilometres further up the Greenway is Ardagh. It's the site of one of Ireland's most famous historic finds. A silver hoard was discovered in a field here. Among the hoard was a chalice, and it became known as the Ardagh Chalice.
This is a replica of the Ardagh Chalice.
Ah, famous Ardagh Chalice.
Famous Ardagh Chalice, which can be located now in the National Museum.
Okay.
But it was first found here by two young lads out picking potatoes in 1868.
You're joking.
They stumbled across the Ardagh Chalice and a hoard of other pieces of art, and obviously it's one of the most well-known pieces of art in Ireland, along with the Book of Kells. I only found out recently that it's actually the Sam Maguire trophy is a scaled up version of it as well. Does it look familiar?
Do you know what? As a Dublin woman, I'd be very familiar with the Sam Maguire.
We haven't seen the Sam Maguire down here for a while,
My God almighty.
Yeah.
So how old would this be?
This is 8th century, which is incredible because obviously the level of artistry you'd have thought back then that it wouldn't have been as sophisticated as it is, but I mean, if you go to the National Museum to see it, it's incredible to think at the level of artistry that was going on back then.
It's gorgeous.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
We've another 10 kilometres onto Rathkeale, so we get on it. We're almost there.
We'll jump back on the saddle.
Almost
A long
there.
cycle, but an enjoyable one.
The Greenway is level for the entire route and suits all levels of cyclists. Bikes can be hired at numerous points along the route, and with Rathkeale in sight, we're approaching the end of our cycle, and the 40 kilometres has taken us about 4 hours.
We made it, Barry!
We made it.
Wow! There you go, Abbeyfeale to Rathkeale, 40 kilometres of great road.
Well done. What an experience. I loved every minute of it. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, Joe, I wasn't expecting there to be such history and stories and culture to be uncovered on the route.
Yeah, so much going on. I think Barna and the tunnel was probably my favourite, and the story that came with that as well.
Yeah, that was gorgeous. And Joe, for me, Desmond Castle in Newcastle West was just beautiful.
Class.
Yeah. Go on, we better drop back these bikes.
Absolutely. Get a bit of grub as well, please.
If you enjoy the show, email us or connect on social media and tell us your story. We'd love to hear about your tracks and trails, especially if it's influenced you in any way. Has it got you out walking? What did it do for you? What were the benefits? Your feedback could inspire our next show.